Hey all, Caitlin V3 here, and I have something new today, and it's actually one of the things that's my most favorite thing to talk about here on this channel. I'm sure you can guess what it is, mostly because the box is under my arm. But it's a motherboard, and this is a special motherboard that I have not done yet, and I'm super duper excited because you guys are gonna love it. It's an AM4 board, which means a Ryzen build is right around the corner, which I'm very excited about. So this is a Tomahawk Arctic B350 motherboard from MSI. I'm a big fan of MSI motherboards. I don't know what it is. I think they just make really nice, pretty boards. And you guys know that I'm like aesthetics obsessed. So I like pretty things, I can't help it. So this is definitely, looks like it's going to be a pretty motherboard. I have not opened the box yet, so I haven't seen it, and I'm really excited. So this is actually my first full white motherboard. It's like white and gray, but I haven't done an actual white themed, like a full white themed motherboard. Actually, that's not true. I guess the Gigabyte motherboard was white, and the MSI Crate Gaming motherboard was black and white. All right, never mind. Forget everything I said. Was this motherboard full white? Now I can't even remember. Okay, no, I knew it wasn't fully white. This is what I was thinking was black, blue, and white, but it's not. It's black and blue and white. So yes, this is my first full, pretty much completely white motherboard, and I'm really excited to use it, which means that we have a white themed build coming up. It is going to be another black and white, but it's mostly white with black accents as opposed to the black and white build I did with the Crate Gaming MSI motherboard and other black and white components. That was mostly black with white accents. This is going to be white with black accents. So if you're excited for that build and want to see Ryzen and all of that goodness, then stick around for that. So let's go ahead and get this open. I have a knife. I got tired of using scissors, so I got a knife. If I could use it without murdering myself. Look how pretty. I know I've showed this before in another video. I don't remember which one though, but oh, I don't even need it. What a buzzkill. So like I said, this is the first time I've opened this. It is a full ATX size motherboard, of course, because we did an ITX motherboard with the ITX gaming build. Actually, we did two ITX. We did the Gigabyte one, the H110N, and then we did the Fatality motherboard for the full gaming setup. This, however, is back to ATX. Oh my goodness. I think my heart just skipped a beat. Oh, the smell I love. Oh, what the heck? Don't try to eat my hair yet. Oh my goodness. That is, it's so pretty. Holy smokes. You guys know how much I love a nice painted PCB. Is that weird? It is really nice. So you have that classic, actually I see this more and more, or I don't know how long it's been a thing. Since I've started doing YouTube videos, I see this more and more on motherboards where they have the steel plated armor on the slots. So specifically why this is really important on the PCI Express slot is because graphics cards can be gigantic these days. So back in the day, fighting a losing battle. Back in the day, you would have like graphics cards that have a huge drop, what is that called? A tip? No, slant, where they bend down or slope down. Well, a lot of the manufacturers' motherboards have now realized that that's not good and actually does damage the PCI Express port slot. So what they've done is they've put steel armor on the slots now to make them harder and hopefully less likely to bend. I have not yet had a graphics card bend. However, in my main build, I use a Founders Edition 1080, and that's not really that heavy of a card. So that could be a reason as well. But I do highly recommend, if you are getting a large graphics card with a lot of fans, specifically a fan style as opposed to a blower style that blows it out the back, then I would definitely look at a motherboard with the steel plating. You also have that on the DIMM slots, so you can see the steel plating on those DIMM slots. It makes them so shiny. Oh God, that is just gorgeous. So beautiful. The only downfall is it looks like, I mean, once you put the RAM in there, a lot of times it blocks the DIMM slots. Although on this motherboard, it looks like they're white and the steel plating is around and between. So that actually, we might be able to see that. This actually may turn into like a black or a white and silver build. Now that I'm really looking at this motherboard, it's definitely, well, it's like a gray and a silver. You can see the plated heat sinks are like a silver finish. So very, mind my nail, very almost sparkly. Ha! I love it. Then we do have a second PCI Express slot down here. This is if you do want to do Crossfire. Of course, because this is an AMD board, it's Crossfire enabled. You're not gonna get SLI out of here. Then we do have our regular PCI slots down here too, although I don't even know the last time I've used an actual PCI slot. So of course we do have the AM4 socket there. It looks a lot different than the 1151 socket we are commonly used to with Intel. I will eventually do an X99 one as well. We're slowly making the rounds of all of our possible options. Of course, probably just when everything gets upgraded again, I'm sure. So a couple other things to note. We do have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fan headers all across the board. So that's really, really helpful. I hate when a board this size doesn't have enough fan headers. On an ITX board, I think the two that I just used only had 2 headers for fans. Of course, you're kind of expecting that when you're on a board with limited size, you have limited space. So it makes sense. But on an ATX board, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous if they are not taking advantage of the space that they do have. You have your dedicated audio chip down here. So as I say with all of my builds, there's no point in having a dedicated audio card anymore. These motherboards have these dedicated audio chips now where it's just unnecessary. They've integrated audio so well that I used to always put a creative audio, what was it? Z, you guys know what I'm talking about, in my old builds, and it's just not necessary anymore. You really just don't have to. The onboard audio is perfectly fine. So that's pretty much everything to point out on the actual motherboard itself. Oh, I forgot the M.2. It does have a turbo M.2 slot, so similar to the Crate Gaming one, it's the same type of port. So if you are like me and you like NVMe drives because they're cute and adorable, then you can use one here, and we will be using one in this build. On the back panel, we have USB, we have PS2 if you like that old style for your peripherals, DVI, VGA, which is kind of weird, HDMI, USB-C, USB 3.1, LAN. This LAN port does have LAN protection like the other MSI motherboard that I talked about. LAN protection is just if you do get a power surge, it's less likely to damage the motherboard through the LAN port, which does happen. And then you have all of your audio jacks. Nothing really on the back, it's just plain white, which actually is really nice. So if you do have a case or anything with a viewable back panel, which I know is not very common, then you can see a nice pretty white board. And actually this board does have LEDs on the back. It's hard to see and it's hard to hold like this, but you can see them here, here. I didn't expect to see that many, but they're LEDs. So the back of the board does light up, And when we put it in the case, we'll be able to see it. They're supposedly white LEDs. I haven't seen this board in use yet, so we will experience that together. Let's see what else is in the box. Let me put this on top of the box. So we have our I/O panel, which is unfortunate. Why do they make it red? I hate when they do that. Why can't you at least match? We have our SATA cables, our useless DVD. There, thanks. How to install the heatsink for the CPU, and their gigantic booklet of multi-languages. Supposedly the BIOS is pretty great too, so I'm excited to check out that. It does have one-click overclocking, so of course we're gonna test that out as well. So we're looking at DDR4 RAM 3200 plus with overclocking, max RAM 64 gigabytes. We're not gonna go that high, of course, because I don't have that kind of money to spend on my builds. All right, well, that's the rundown on this beautiful motherboard from MSI, the Tomahawk Arctic B350 with an AM4 socket so that we can put a Ryzen chip in here. I'm super excited to build this and excited to see how it looks in the end. You guys know how obsessed I am with motherboards, and I just love them to pieces. So I hope you guys stick around to see the build, and thanks so much for watching. If you guys are not already subscribed, then do subscribe so you can at least see that build when I do release it, which will be actually very, very soon, because I'm busting out videos the rest of May, and we got like 9-10 days left, depending on when I post this. We gotta finish strong, guys. We gotta finish strong. I'm super excited to show this to you guys, and that's about all I got. So thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.